Hi friends! I know this has been a hard time for a lot of us. Coming off of the election season, the gloomy November blues, the days getting shorter, darker, and just the pre-holiday stress, it can be hard to take care of yourself and even feel hopeful about the future when life just doesn't feel easy. First, I want to say that my channel will always be a positive, safe space. I'm an advocate for equality and progress. I'm a big proponent of having an open mind, thinking critically, and approaching situations with empathy, experience, and nuance. And one of the reasons why I love film is its ability to express the complexity of human emotions, suffering, and enlightenment felt by others. It can be incredibly singular and unique, yet at the same time universal. It reminds us of our deep soul-level connection that all of us are able to access. The truth that we are more similar than different. It's a powerful tool that has a real ability to make change. At its heart, film can put you in someone else's shoes and open up your own heart and mind to someone else's way of living. Experiences that we may have never had in our lives and never will have, but we're able to see how those experiences shape someone and just deepen our level of understanding of others' lives and why we make decisions the way we do and choose to live our lives the way that we do. I mean, I could make a whole other video about films that have had a political impact, but in this video I just want to share some movies that I go back to when I personally feel like I'm struggling to feel hopeful and that remind me of the importance of connection, compassion, and empathy. These films feel like a big hug or a big blanket that I can just wrap myself in and remind me that someone else has felt the same way that I feel right now, and that this too shall pass, that the experience of feeling sad or lonely or heartbroken is temporary, and everyone feels like this sometimes. So sit back, grab a cup of tea, get your cozy blanket, and let's talk about some of my favorite life-affirming movies. The first movie is Lost in Translation, written and directed by Sofia Coppola. This movie came into my life at a time when I really needed it. I don't know if it would have resonated with me if I hadn't also been feeling really lonely and isolated, and just unsure of my future and my identity. This movie is about a newlywed, Charlotte, staying in Tokyo for her husband's work. She forms an unlikely friendship with Bob, an older man played by Bill Murray, and the two of them bond over being in a weird transitional period of their lives. Both of these people are dissatisfied in their marriage and unsure of what direction to take their career. Now, Bob has achieved success, societal success in these things, money, marriage, acclaim, but he still isn't happy. And Charlotte is just starting out on this journey. She's newlywed, hasn't really started her career yet, and she's also feeling a lot of dissatisfaction and unhappiness. So this movie isn't super dialogue heavy. To me, it feels like waking up at 4 a.m., jet lagged in a new city, and you just can't go back to sleep, so you take a walk around and the light's blue and the sun is barely starting to peek up, and you feel like time is standing still and everything is on pause, and life is giving you time to catch up on these things that you might have been avoiding thinking about. This recently happened to me when I got back from a trip. I woke up at 4 or 5 a.m., could not go back to sleep, so I just walked down to a coffee shop that opens up at 7 a.m. on my street and just sat there and wrote in my journal and just hung out with the old people. And it was so peaceful and a little bit melancholy, and it felt like a real limbo. And this movie shows the beauty of finding a fellow wanderer in the night, someone to share this feeling with, even if it's just temporary or fleeting. But knowing that life is difficult for people of all ages and money and class. Lost in Translation just captures this feeling so beautifully and leaves you feeling hopeful for finding connection in the dark, even if it's just with these characters. The second movie is Wild Strawberries, written and directed by Ingmar Bergman. So I watched this movie for the first time during the pandemic, and it made me sob. I'm definitely a crybaby when it comes to movies. Like when I watch Pixar's Soul, oh my god, I remember my sister and I just sitting on the ground, sobbing. This was also during the pandemic. The last movie that I watched that really made me sob was probably After Sun. Oh my god. Interstellar makes me cry. And my favorite types of movie cries are when they're very existential and life-affirming and beautiful. I don't like to feel miserable. But when I saw Wild Strawberries, I was down so bad. And it just made me feel a lot and put things in perspective and made me feel very hopeful about my life in the future. Bergman is a master, and this might be my favorite of his films. It follows a crotchety old man, a retired doctor, who has to travel to his alma mater to receive an honorary degree. Along the way, he encounters other travelers who remind him of the joys and the pains of his own life, and cause him to reflect on the meaning of his life and the choices that he's made, and how one chooses to live their life at all different stages and ages, and what we can hope to leave behind at the end of our lives. It deals with very existential themes, but in a very gentle and beautiful way. I found it quite accessible, so don't let the black and white and the Swedish scare you away. It's sweet, nourishing, incredibly hopeful, and life-affirming. Kind of like a strawberry, or at least that's how I feel when I eat a strawberry. I don't know about y'all. This next one is definitely on the list too of movies that I cried all the way home from the theater. The one and only Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is one of the most hopeful, positive, multiverse sci-fi movies ever, with central themes of love, regret, trauma, and identity. It follows a mother who is forced to connect with different parallel universe versions of herself to stop this powerful being from destroying the universe. Crazy. But it's riddled with so much humor and compassion, and it has so many incredibly entertaining and well-done action sequences. It's empowering, moving, and made me just feel incredibly grateful for my life and the people and experiences that I'm lucky enough to have in it. Even if this isn't the most perfect timeline, it's where you are now, and there's so much love and hope left for you to embrace. The next film is going to be a holiday classic for me, and that's The Holdovers by Alexander Payne. This movie is so beautifully crafted, and it feels like it just stepped out of another time period, but with a modern sensibility and a deep empathy for others' experiences and traumas. It's a movie about underdogs and finding community in unexpected places. It's about the group of people who have to stay behind at this exclusive boarding school during the holiday period. The movie is dry and sarcastic and really funny. It shows how when you feel like you've just been singled out by the universe to have horrible experiences and just beaten down over and over again, it's easy to believe those voices that tell you you aren't good enough or believe that you don't belong anywhere. But this movie really shows the importance of not losing your compassion for other people, and that everyone is fighting something that would just break your heart if you knew about it. So give people a break and keep your heart open. I can't wait to watch this movie this year in like a giant sweater with a big cup of hot chocolate and like the fireplace going. So the final movie is Arrival by Denis Villeneuve. This film is an absolute masterpiece. It is everything that a film can be. It's visually a marvel. The characters and acting are so moving and human, and the message of it is deeply existential and just beautiful. To me, it's just the epitome of what the science fiction genre can do. It's like what Kubrick did with 2001: Space Odyssey or Nolan with Interstellar. This genre is so exciting to me because you can explore so many different stories and possibilities with no boundaries, just exploration and a sense of adventure. I love it. And this movie will make you feel so excited about the endless possibilities of life. Now we know so little about so many things. There are so many things we still have to discover and explore. The universe is constantly expanding, which to me is just inherently positive. So if you haven't seen this movie, find the biggest screen you can and just enjoy, and then go think about all the ways that your life can work out for the best. Because they will. You're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. So I hope you enjoyed this list. Let me know if you've seen them, and please give me some more movie suggestions in this sort of genre. And like, when in doubt, Paddington. If you're feeling bummed, go put on some Paddington. So I'm sending you all a big hug. I hope you take care of yourself during this stressful time and get excited for the holidays, guys. But anyway, I will see you all very soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.